what the churches and what faith groups bring uniquely is care for our neighbor. And in this case, our neighbor is all of creation. It's, it's all the people, not just the people in our community, but people all around the world who are affected by climate change. We say that we will respect, sustain, and renew the life of the earth in our baptismal covenant. And that becomes for me a moral obligation. What I experience is tremendous concern for not just myself, I may have another 10 years, but for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. It's the world that they're going to be living in that's really important, and we're robbing them of it if we continue to ignore science, if we continue to ignore economics.
When I got to Toronto this time, like 2017, I entered into a world of other people who'd been activists for years. And I was into all kinds of campaigns and demonstrations and marches and rallies. And, oh my goodness, this is definitely a new life, which felt important. All that God created is created out of love. And so everything that comes forth is an expression of love. How can I be harmful or destructive to something I love and that where I see God in it?
There's a chapter in the Quran, right, about a wise person named Luqman, and he's giving advice to his son. That is like a golden advice we often talk to our kids, and we select it in sermon. In one of the advice he gives is that walk humbly on earth, on the face of earth. So that is mostly we talk about and people being very humble but that also started to realize that while I was listening to another lecture by a doctor, he says that it's not only that humble, walking humbly, but also says that leaving minimum footprint on earth while you are alive. So that is the connection which started to me to think about that environmental protection and the responsibility we have, and how softly, how gently we walk on earth and without being arrogant, that also that everything connects to how to protect this environment, because not only I'm the only one who's living on this earth, but rather this is a multitude of communities are living. So I'm sharing that resource with everybody.
Climate can't be the end all and be all of everything. Yes, we live on this planet, and of course, in extreme situation, if we don't have it, we don't live. But people also need to be able to live in a place and have food to put on their table with affordability issues. They got to take care of their aging parents. They need good education. They need the ability to have relationships. There's no doubt that while people are still probably individually conscious about the choices they make in terms of the food they buy or the way they recycle, and I think people are, conscious when they're purchasing cars and those kinds of things. It takes a back seat. It's kind of like the oxygen mask on an airplane, right? You might have been doing something else on the plane, but when the oxygen mask drops down, you stop doing that and you put it on yourself and then somebody else. So when anti-Semitism reached unprecedented levels in Canada over the last 2 years, that's been our focus, our very survival and dignity and safety. So, I think that other things are also separate from the anti-Semitism piece. As I was just mentioning, affordability is a huge issue. If people don't feel secure about themselves, it's hard to take care of anything else, whether that's another person in a relationship or the planet you live on.